Good morning, my name is Richard Mulvey, and this is the micro-learning program for decision making. So, we have decided. We've taken that decision, we've pulled the trigger. Now we have to make sure that decision is going to work. That decision now you should consider to be cast in stone, but we've got to find some way now of cementing it in place. Mixing my metaphors a little bit there. I'll give you an example. I was having a party and a friend of mine came over. It was on a Sunday. He came over to me and he was very pumped up and excited. And he said, Richard, he said, I decided. I said, John, that's fantastic. What have you decided? He said, I've decided to give up smoking. That's it. I'm going to give up smoking. Next Tuesday when this carton runs out, that will be the end for me. No more smoking. Now, the brightest of you will have realized the flaw in that particular argument. He was pumped up and excited. He decided to give up smoking, but he wasn't going to give up smoking until Tuesday because he wanted to use up all his cigarettes. I know it makes no sense, but that was his train of thought. So come Tuesday, of course, he wasn't as excited and pumped up as he was on Sunday. So it didn't work so well. Look, he did give up smoking for about 20 minutes, which wasn't what he really wanted to achieve from that decision. Now, had he taken that decision a little differently, then the results would also have been a little different. So he's now taken the decision. When you take a decision, the next thing you do is take some action to cement that decision in place. Take action. If you haven't taken any action, you haven't actually taken the decision yet. It's the action that makes the difference. I'll give you an example. Somebody rang me up after one of my seminars 4 or 5 weeks after doing a presentation. He attended the presentation and he rang me up and he only really rang to say thank you. He said, I was driving home after your presentation. He said, it was pouring with rain, and during that drive home, I decided to give up smoking. Now, this wasn't unusual. It's a decision I've taken quite often, but I remembered, he said, I remembered what you said about taking some action after taking that decision. So instead of stopping off at the pub on the way home, which I had planned to do, I drove straight home. And I parked my car outside in the street. And I rushed into the house and I picked up my last carton of cigarettes from the wardrobe, rushed back out to the car, put the cigarettes behind the back wheel of the car, and then I proceeded to reverse the car over the cigarettes. Then I drove forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards. And the neighbours came out in the rain, wondered what I was doing. I was still driving backwards and forwards and backwards until there was nothing but paper and tobacco and cardboard flowing away down the drain. And he said, you know what? It was that action that I took cemented that decision in place. And he said, now it's nearly 4 weeks later and I still haven't had a cigarette. He said, thank you very much, but now I understand when you take a decision, you've got to follow it with some action. No action, no decision yet. My name is Richard Mulvey, and this is the micro-learning program for decision making.